Welcome to our next top tips session as part of Touring and Adventure Month. Today we're going to be hearing from two experts in the sector, giving their tips to ensure that you can identify and sell different types of touring holidays. So let's meet our experts. First, I've got Sarah Wheatman, Head of Trade Sales at G Touring for the brands TravelSphere and Just You. Hi, Sarah.
Hi. Hello, thank you for having me.
And I've also got Jo Reeve, Head of Business Development at Intrepid.
Hey Claire, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks for joining us today, ladies. So we recently heard some consumer research results from Mail Metro Media as part of Touring and Adventure Month. And key things that I've pulled out of this was that 74% of those looking to go on holiday in 2021 are still yet to book, which is really encouraging news for all of us. In the research, there were loads of elements that people were looking for from their holiday. So today I'd like to try and demonstrate how diverse escorted holidays really are and why you should introduce touring holiday to a really wide range of customers. Of those surveyed, 38% of those looking for a domestic holiday and 35% of those looking at an overseas holiday were looking to take a city break. And I think that maybe most of us wouldn't automatically think of suggesting a tour in this instance, but escorted holidays are a really great way to experience city breaks. So Sarah, maybe you can share some thoughts on city breaks for us.
Yeah, sure, I'd love to. I think people take a city break, don't they, to soak up the culture of a destination, get a taste of a place and experience those key sites. And plus with a city break, you often stay right in the heart of a destination. So if you think all of that above, you can actually do that on a tour as well, but you can do it with a trusted tour manager or local guide, and you'll use their experience to really get to know the best places to go and eat, to buy those souvenirs, and get that experience that you can't just get from reading a guidebook. Plus the tour manager's there 24/7 if you need any help or reassurance. But it's just such a great way to see a key one of those cities that you've always loved to see, because you don't waste any time. You see all the main highlights, and as well, actually, you'll often beat the crowds at lots of attractions as well.
Skip the queues, definitely. I think it would automatically, sometimes you'd think that a tour's really long, but it can be a shorter length too. So it doesn't exclude all those people looking for a shorter break, does it?
No, absolutely. I think there's lots of different tour options there, and your ATAS month is showing the breadth of operators that offer touring holidays in different styles. So there's always, whether it's a 4-night, 7-night trip, or maybe combining a couple of cities together, because let's face it, after a year of being at home, we all want to go out, and so I would definitely combine it and do a few more. But yeah, there are short breaks there, whether that's in the UK or in Europe, or even, for example, with Just You, we do a New York City break as well. So it gives that taster of a destination, knowing that you'll be looked after. And I guarantee the tour manager or the local guide will be able to really give you those hidden gems that you just can't get by doing it yourself.
Amazing. Okay, so another key element that guests were looking for was a rural countryside experience. So it was around 34% of those surveyed that were looking for that. Again, I guess the escorted market might not be your first choice, but Jo, can you tell us a little bit why it should be their first choice?
Yeah, definitely. I think with what's happened over the last kind of 12 or so months is that, we've not really had much choice, but we've all started to kind of explore our back gardens a little bit more, and those little kind of hidden gems that aren't too far away from where we live and perhaps haven't been the obvious first choice for a lot of people. That being said, a lot of people have also found interest with walking, cycling, far more kind of active and outdoor type adventures. So it kind of lends itself to that way of thinking, and it enables people to kind of go to the beautiful parts of this country without kind of having to go too far, without having to worry too much about I guess, the certain challenges there've been with picking a destination overseas, for example. And it's really brought that focus to the UK and UK holidaying. In terms of a group tour perspective, we're finding that it's been hugely popular for us to go and see that, those obvious places in the UK, such as Cornwall or the Lake District, for example, but also the more lesser known hidden gems and places where you can really kind of get to experience all the great things about a local area, whether that be the food, the people, the things to go and do and see, and then also to travel with others and make friends. We're seeing a lot of solo travellers join UK tours at the moment, particularly solo women, for example. And it's also a nice introduction, I think, to touring. So for someone that might not have done it before, it's a great way to try it in the UK, and then obviously then take that further afield if people feel that they want to do that as well.
Yeah, I think we all want to do a bit of both, don't we? We want to
Yeah.
definitely just get out there and see stuff, but it is like we've fallen in love with our country again, isn't it? It's actually quite nice. So moving on a little bit, another key trend in the research was that after all we've been through, which we've kind of talked about, people are looking for a little bit of luxury in their life. They said they associated luxury with comfort and being made to feel a bit special, which we all definitely need. I think, Jo, maybe that adventure is often seen as, obviously it's very activity based, which you said, walking, hiking, etc. But sometimes it might be seen as a little bit basic from an accommodation point of view, but it is totally possible to have these amazing adventures in a more luxury way or for more discerning guests, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest misconception out there is that adventure travel is kind of for adrenaline junkies or ex-backpackers, and it was very active. And whilst there definitely are active options for those that want them, there's definitely something for everybody. And I think naturally what's happening with adventure travel is that's evolving over time. And again, with the pandemic, I think that it's front of mind that wanting bucket list experience, but authentic experience is really getting to understand a destination and having a real worthy travel experience. So it's definitely not just for the backpacker, it's definitely not basic. From an Intrepid point of view, we've just launched a premium range, for example, which talks to this customer in particular. So it gives them that up close experience that I mentioned, but at the end of the day, they have a nice, comfortable, well located accommodation to retire at the end of the day. It's a more considered pace, so it's slower, it's a lot more accessible for those that don't want to feel as though they're rushing from one destination to another. It might include a beautiful feature stay in each trip, for example, where you might be in Cappadocia, for example, have a front row seat to the hot air balloons. It could be a wonderful first class train journey. We also include our most experienced leaders. But with these trips, everything remains the same as it would be with a standard Intrepid trip, which is that responsible travel focus. Trips are designed to benefit the local communities, but absolutely at a slower pace for those who want to do it in a little bit more style, let's say.
Okay, great. So I'm going to move away a little bit from the research, but I think this is probably a common thing that we hear about quite a lot, is that one of the elements that people are really concerned about when they think of potentially booking an escorted holiday is packing and unpacking every day. And I've got to admit, that's one of the things that doesn't appeal to me, packing and unpacking every day, because it's not great, is it? It's not the best thing that we all do on holiday. But this isn't the case for all tours now, is it? There's lots of options where you're not moving around, where you've got longer stays. Sarah, can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, I think probably one of the biggest misconceptions about touring is that every single holiday you're moving around every couple of days, different hotels and changing hotels and packing, like you said, Claire. But I think, and hopefully, through the Touring and Adventure Month and everybody trying to sell touring a little bit more, we can show that actually there are many options, including single stay tours, where you're based in one hotel, and then you have a selection of fantastic excursions to go off and visit the local attractions. And in fact, it gives you so much freedom and flexibility as well. So, if one day perhaps you don't want to do that trip, you might be staying in a gorgeous Italian farmhouse and you can just spend the day, around the pool or on the terrace, looking at the beautiful rolling hills of Tuscany, yards, and having a glass of wine. And your fellow tourists might have gone and did a trip that you perhaps didn't want to do. And actually, for Just You, our solo traveller programme, every single tour in Italy, apart from one, actually just stays in one hotel. So we've got a whole range of Italy tours, but only one of them moves around and visits more different places. And Travelsphere as well, I think it's just over 2/3 of our tours to Italy again are in one hotel. I've just picked Italy because I think that's a great example, where you can actually just stay in one hotel. You're in a great authentic local property, having that freedom and flexibility to do what you want. But again, going back to a point I mentioned at the start, you still know that the tour manager's there for you, and some meals are included as well. Yet you've got that time to go and explore local restaurants because your hotel's normally in a great location, and often provide you with lots of resort knowledge, and get that real cultural experience. And quite frankly, who wouldn't want to stay in a little Italian farmhouse looking at the rolling hills, and every few days go off and do an excursion and come back, and you've learned so much about a destination, and you've only unpacked once. So I think like I said, the misconception that you move around a lot, then there are tours that you move around a lot, but they maybe, if you want to, so your big dream list destination, you want to go and visit it all. But there are so many tours you just stay in one, maybe two hotels. So yeah, I encourage anybody to investigate those and maybe pick a tour and really get to know it, and then use it in their promotions as well.
And again, for a customer, that's quite a nice introduction to touring, isn't it?
Yeah.
When they're not maybe moving around every day, it might be a nice kind of way to ease them in from a kind of package beach holiday into the touring side of things. Okay, and I guess that similar question, but from an adventure holiday, as you said earlier, people think they're really active, and maybe you're moving around, maybe they think you've got to walk 20 miles every day and that kind of thing. But I'm guessing that it's a similar thing in the adventure arena, if you like.
Yeah, no, it really is. Look, I think there is definitely something for everybody. There are people that want to kind of summit mountains, and there are others that just want to go and visit an olive garden and drink wine in a nice setting, like Sarah said, in Italy, and that's fine. And so, with adventure, I think at the heart of it, it's just understanding where you are. So there's different types of accommodations, there's different types of experiences, definitely different types of pace to kind of cater to what it is you're looking for. I mean, when we launched our Closer to Home range last year, within that we had some retreat product as well, which was centre-based. So it's, as Sarah mentioned, the one time to unpack, and then you're there for the duration. And I think it will work well for customers that haven't perhaps done a tour before, but then also who might feel nervous around, how things are at the moment, and kind of going from one place to another might heighten that, in which case, it's quite nice that you are centre-based, and then you have that flexibility to kind of stay put and enjoy and soak it all up, or go out a little bit further afield and take it easy. I mean, we've got a great retreat. I mean, we've got retreats in the UK, but we also have a retreat that comes to mind, which I really want to do with all of my friends as soon as I can, in Morocco. It's this kind of beautiful little oasis surrounded by olive trees, beautiful food that comes to the table. You get to learn how to make it if you want to, or you can just receive it and eat it. There's opportunity to go out walking in the mountains, or just sit and relax by the pool. So I think most people and most agents, when they think of adventure travel, don't perhaps consider that, but there is definitely those kind of experiences, and they are proving quite popular for the customers that are not quite ready to go and do the full 2-week tour somewhere.
Again, maybe like a nice introduction for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So as you all know, Top Tips is a quick guide for you. So we haven't got very long, and I know we've got loads more to talk about. I wanted to remind you that ATAS are going to be taking some time to help agents look at all these different types of tours in more depth. So this is just a quick intro today. But let's ask our experts, if there was one type of escorted holiday you can tell viewers about today, what would it be and why? Sarah, let's start with you.
Oh, wow. I would say, look, there's so many different styles of touring, whether your customer's looking, like I said before, to move around, stay in one hotel, take rail, and take that adventurous side, or if they're solo and they're looking perhaps for their very first trip alone. I think there's too many for me to choose from to say which, but I would be able to choose. I know, everybody knows what I'm like. I would just say, there is a tour for everyone. And my top tip is get to know a brand, really understand different offerings for your customers and learn about it, really absorb it, take it in, and start to use that in your promotions and gently introduce it to your customers without doubt.
Okay, great. And Jo, can you make a choice for us?
Oh, I can't really. I suppose if I was to be dictated by the way things are at the moment, I guess there would be two options. One is kind of in the interim, when there's still a little bit of uncertainty, then of course closer to home, I think is a nice choice. In the UK in particular, I think if we're going to be in a position soon where we'll know whether we can go further afield or if we can't. And I think once we need to make that decision, availability in the UK is going to become a problem for people looking to book things at last minute, whether that be family holidays or trips with family and friends. So I think UK options is a really good one. Maybe private group trips. We run most of our trips on a private basis, for example. So if you don't want to go as a traveling party with a group of soon-to-be friends, then you can travel with your family or friends and run a trip on a private tour. And then the other one, I guess, would be bucket list destinations. So with a bit of a time to go, maybe late 2022 into 2023, you know, those trips that you've always wanted to do. Book now before we're in a position where, you know, we're in that situation where last time where airlines then start to whack prices up potentially, or we're in that, you know, kind of slightly panicked time. So if there's something you've always wanted to do, book in the good offers that are out there at the moment with a trusted operator, and and then fingers crossed we all get to go soon.
And Jo, you made a really good point there that I just wanted to pick out, because you talked about private tours, and I think that group size is always a bit of a challenge. Like some people won't want to travel with big groups, and particularly now they won't want to. So from an ATAS members point of view, we have loads of small group and private group touring options. So don't let group size be the reason that your customer doesn't book, because there really are a lot of options at the moment, a lot of new options at the moment. So try and make yourself familiar with those new small group touring options as well. So as I said, I think we all could have gone on for longer. I think the three of us will just keep talking, but I do need to wrap it up there. But as you can see, escorted holidays really do have a lot of elements, and I think there's options to suit everyone. So as an agent, why not think about giving it as an option with every single one of your quotes and see how many people respond to it. A big thank you to my experts Sarah and Jo for joining us today. Thanks, ladies, and a big thank you
for having us.
for watching. Thanks so much. Bye.